Welcome to the Fantasy's finest fantasy football podcast. Here are your hosts, William Spencer, Jalen McQueen, and Marc Carter.
What's going on? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Fantasy's finest podcast. I am your host, William Spencer, and with me today is my co-host, Marc Carter. He's finally gotten away from his busy schedule, whatever he's doing, and he's joining us for the podcast today. Glad to have you back, homie.
What's good with you, man? I miss you, man. For real, man. How you doing? What's good? What's good?
Listen, man, we got a good show for you guys. First, let me just let you know what the episode is about today. We're going to get you guys ready for week 2. And at first, before I jump into that, I want to apologize to you guys. I got caught up with some family stuff, just family life in general. I couldn't get the episodes out for week 1. So I apologize for that. But we are getting ready full steam ahead for week 2 and beyond. And we're going to get you guys set up for some waiver wire targets for week 2 or before week 2, before they get everything gets started there, because there are some options that you may need to add to your fantasy lineups. And we got you covered for this episode. Ace, Jalen will be joining us hopefully later. He has some other things to take care of before he jumped on. But of course, you know, black people are always late. So
as always, man. You already know.
And the funny thing about it is, before weekend, we have a group chat for the show, and we set up and everything. So I'm sending out messages. I'm like, look, guys, if you guys can come on, it'd be great. I know y'all busy, blah, blah, blah. Jalen's like, oh, well, you know, if it starts on time, I'll be ready. Now he's not here, so.
Hey, listen, that's what color folks do, man.
But make sure to follow the podcast, Fantasy's Finest Podcast, on wherever you listen to podcasts, like Apple. Google's no longer there. We are doing YouTube videos, so it will be posted on our YouTube channel at Fantasy's Finest. You're going to hit the subscribe button over there. And like I said, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there and available. You can also follow us on social media at Fantasy's Finest on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you get your flavor for social media. We are there as well. But I got to ask you, Marc, week one was a doozy. Let me say that right. It was a doozy for fantasy managers, because a lot of players that were picked in, like, let's say the first 3 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Picked in the first 3 rounds, they threw out some stinkers. Like, it was like, if I need a soundtrack, because it was that bad. But
yeah, for sure.
Now, my question to you, should fantasy managers be hitting the panic button after 1 week of fantasy football?
This early? No, never, dude. I mean, we got plenty more weeks to go through, because seriously, I don't think so. No, don't go start looking out for trades and all that. Nah, hold on to your guys. Hold on to your valuables. No. That's why some leagues have those, you can't trade this guy yet. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's for the first overall pick for sure. But nah, don't panic now, man. You got plenty more opportunities to let you guys be proven, man. You're gonna see why, man. Well, go ahead, lead off.
Here's the thing, because there are a few guys that I threw up on the show, Doc, because of their performances in week 1. So you're telling me fantasy managers should just take it easy, don't hit the panic button. But look at these performances. Mark Andrews, for instance, week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens, against the Kansas City Chiefs, 3.4 fantasy points in that outing, just 2 for 2 for 14 yards. That's it. You sure we shouldn't be hitting the panic button on that?
No, man. I mean, like I said, that was a great defensive game for sure, man. I feel like, there was a couple key mistakes from both teams as well, and you got to look at it, man. It's people are still. These teams are still getting warmed up, man. And that's how I look at it as well. I feel like Mark Andrews, connection to Lamar is getting warmed up. Gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? Now, the question is, how long can you wait? That's the question right there. How long should you wait for that connection to be warmed up? I know Isaiah, man, was killing it, dude. That's probably the hottest guy right now. But I guarantee right now, Mark Andrews is going to be coming back as the top 5 tight ends, man. Per usual. But you got to wait. But now the question is, how long? That's what I'm saying.
We're going to get into Isaiah likely later on in the episode, because he's definitely one of the top hottest waiver wire pickups for heading into week 2. Okay, so you telling people to hit the brakes on Mark Andrews. What about Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin? Because before the season started, they talking about, they don't have a number 2 wide receiver on the team. They got rid of Jahan Dotson, sent him to the Philadelphia Eagles. It was presumed that Terry McLaurin was going to inherit a huge target share, even with a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 for 14 for 17 yards, 3.7 fantasy points. And I take this one personally because I started him over George Pickens.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that was a hurt piece. Because I'm not going to lie. I panicked because Justin Fields was going to be the starter when Russell Wilson got ruled out. So I'm like, oh, man, I don't know if I should start him. Terry McLaurin should get a big target share. Even if he doesn't put up huge numbers, I'm like, the volume will be there. Boy, was I mistaken because he put up a stinker. And he hurt my fantasy team. So should we be panicking on Terry McLaurin because of his situation?
I'll tell you this right now. You panic after who he plays in week 2. He plays against the New York Giants. Now, if he doesn't get anything done in week 2 against New York Giants, I don't know, man. I feel like that's the magic team right there. Week 2. I know we talk about like it's too early, but come on, it's New York Giants. If you can't make gold, out of New York Giants defense, and Terry McLaurin should have a field day. I would hit the panic button right there. I ain't gonna lie. I would hit the panic button. Week 2 is your magic number, Terry. Let's go, baby. I feel it coming. But if not, managers, get him out. I don't know, dude. You got to get him out.
You got to flip him.
You got to flip him.
You know what Fat Joe said, man, when it comes to the prices change. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Nah, so listen, man. You look towards the future, dog. I can't. That's always like, you know what, New York Giants. I look at it as, hey, this is the test right here. You should have a good field day.
It's a get right game.
Yeah, right. This wide receiver core should be hungry, including Terry. To come into week 2, be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going. This is sweet cheeks for me. And if they don't. That's what I'm sorry with Giants fans. Listen, Giants fans, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because Giants fans was coming out of the woodwork, but in the offseason trying to talk crazy, and it's like, why? Yeah. Why are you here?
Yeah, right.
You know it's a 2-team race in NFC East. Don't play yourself like that.
Facts, dude. Facts.
All right. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. You got something else you want to add?
No. I'm just anticipating for that. So that's Terry McLaurin's reunion, welcome home, reunion kind of game. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm definitely calling it.
All right. So the last one I got is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Fantasy managers likely spent a first-round pick to get Amon-Ra on their team. 4.3 fantasy points. He only saw 6 targets for 13 yards, 3 receptions. And he saw Jameson Williams have one of the biggest games of his career. Now, I've been on the Jameson Williams train, so I'm glad to see that. And I do believe there are plenty of targets to go around. I don't know what happened as far as the game plan, but some might be a little, oh my goodness, how did Amon-Ra have a game like this? So should we be hitting the panic button on Amon-Ra? Or is this a definite, hold on, I didn't spend the first round pick, I'm gonna wait and see type of situation?
Yeah, I wouldn't flip Amon. I would not even, be worried about it too. I feel like that's just smoke. You know what I mean? Just chill. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you spent that first round pick on him. Relax. He's going to come back and flip. You got Buccaneers next week. You got the Cardinals. You got the Seahawks. Man, don't chill out, dude. Amon's good. You know what I'm saying? He's good.
You're going to off-season.
Oh, is that AC snuck into the back door?
You gotta love this.
What's good, man?
Yeah, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Oh, my fault.
I'm glad you wasn't taking a dump, cuz.
My fault, bro. I was muted. Hold on, I'm trying to get myself together. But
man, hot mic in the toilet. Yo, let's go.
You hear him talking in the background.
Good, fellas. My fault.
Telling the kids, "Hey, man, get out of here. I gotta get this show done."
You're right.
Oh man, Let us know when you're ready. But basically, I have to agree with you, Mark. I think
Yeah.
it's easy to fall into the trap of panicking, especially now. And while fantasy value does change, you still would be able to. It's two sides to play when it comes to these kind of situations. On one side, you have to be more cautious with a player. 1 week is not enough to dismiss a player or try and trade him and panic because that's how you can make a mistake.
Yeah.
But on the other side, there are fantasy managers that are looking at these situations with these players and like, yo, man, I better do something quick before it gets worse. I'm gonna try and flip them for something or try and sell high in order to get something back and recoup because you're spending top 3 picks,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
first 3 round picks to get these guys.
Right. And on top of that, you can't just put the hammer down on these top three these guys in the top three positions. You know what I'm saying? Mark Andrews is a guaranteed top three tight end by the end of the season. Amon is guaranteed to be a top 5 wide receiver by the end of the season. I don't know about Terry. Terry, you can kind of go ahead and flip and make something happen with that as well too. Maybe top 15 wide, probably low. But yeah, with these two, Mark Andrews and St. Brown, I would not, scream over that, over the first game. Like I said, so for the fantasy managers, you definitely got to chill out with that, man, for sure. But again, like I said, Terry, he's not in that pedestal like that. I would give him New York game next week, and then I would say, you know what? Okay, maybe I need to go ahead and put out the plate and see what kind of vultures will pick at it. You know what I'm saying? And that's all. That's it. But listen, you just got to take it week by week on these players, man. That's all you got to do.
All right, so we got a little warmed up. Ace has joined us. He snuck in through the back door. He getting himself
I'm
ready.
here, man. No, I'm fine.
So what we're gonna do now is
Marc.
What's good with you?
What's up, brother?
What's good with you, cuz?
William. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Brand new season, man. That's what we love to hear.
I got some beef with the young boy too, but I'm gonna get into that a little later on the show. We're gonna get right into the news, man. We're gonna get right into the news. We gotta keep the show moving. Ace, we're gonna get to you. I'm gonna let you start off first. Since we get into our news segment, but we're gonna get right into our news, the news and notes from around the NFL.
News and notes from around the NFL.
All right, so we had a lot of injury news coming out of week 1, coming out of Sunday's games. By the time you guys see this, Monday Night Football will have been played, so we're just recording before Monday Night Football actually begins. So, to get things started in our news segment, we gotta talk about the biggest news to drop before kickoff week 1. Sunday at 1 p.m. What happened? Dak Prescott got paid. He got his money. 4 years, $240 million, 231 of it fully guaranteed. $60 million a year. A year. He is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Fellas, well, Mark, I already know you about to start hating, but Ace, how you feel about that?
Reason him to hate.
I mean, he's just a hater. He's a Broncos fan.
No, go ahead, Ace. I'll let you speak. Because I'm gonna go. Man, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, me, I'm fine with it. It's. I was big on tanking and like trying to get a top pick. No, I'm saying after last season, I was ready to tank and let Dak go. You know what I'm saying? But after seeing Trey Lance in the preseason, yeah, our best option is Dak, and it's not, and I like Dak. Clearly, I love Dak, but I'm tired of the first round exits and getting spanked in the second round. So that was out of impulse, but you really can't get a better option than Dak in a draft, at least right then and there. So now I feel like with paying him and CD, then you can go ahead and improve the rest of the roster. So I'm cool with it.
Mark?
They had no choice. They had no choice, dude. Who cares?
You also didn't have it.
They had no choice. It's like, are we surprised? No, we're not. No, we're not. We knew it's not like, oh man, is he going to make this? No. You got to pay him because Jerry Jones is not an idiot, man. We know that for sure. You know what I'm saying? As much as the fan base of this show hates the Cowboys, I know for sure. You know what I mean? But the fact that matters is that, dude, Jerry, he had no choice, man. This is kind of like a who cares because it's like we already knew Dak's going to get paid for sure. The question is he worth that money? You got to look at other quarterbacks around the league, man, that's, his salary and all that too. Is he worth that 4-year, 240? I don't know. I don't think he's worth that high.
I'll say he is because you compare him to the other players that have gotten paid. Your Trevor Lawrences, your Justin Herberts. I mean, those guys got 50. Jared Goff. I mean, Jared Goff is kind of on the upswing, so I won't disparage him too much. He didn't make the NFC Championship game last year. But other guys have gotten 50+ million, and they don't even have half the resume that Dak Prescott has. Lamar Jackson got paid, and he's got the same playoff record that Dak had last year.
Well, that's the question.
MVPs be darned. You know what I'm saying? His postseason stats and record, which everybody likes to talk about, when it comes to Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson's is not better. I mean,
but you're looking at look at the resume. You know, what I mean, comparing quarterbacks now, man, and as far as the salary goes, look at the resume. Look at Patty Mahomes. We already know Patty's resume. I don't want to talk about Patty because I'm a hater. Look at Lamar Jackson's. You know what I'm saying? Look at his appearances in the AFC Championship game. Look at his caliber as far as being MVP. Look at Josh Allen. Look at his appearances in that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at these quarterbacks, Dak doesn't have a suitable resume yet, man. I know y'all going to say something, but Dak doesn't have a suitable resume yet to be paid that much. That's not that. But again, Jerry is stuck with that. You know what I'm saying? So he's like,
and it's also to piggyback off of Marc. You don't have a choice because at this point you waited so long. If you weren't being stupid, Jerry, you could have paid him earlier, got him for $55 million. Same thing with CD. You didn't have to pay CD, but when you continuously wait on these contract situations, that's what happened. You end up overpaying.
Yep.
So to piggyback off of Marc, yeah, he's right. Yeah, Lamar may have had bad success, but he has at least been to an AFC chip game, if I'm not mistaken. Josh Allen has. Jalen Hurts has. And I'm not in no way saying these other guys are better than Dak. I mean, I think some of them are. But the Dak Prescott we get in the regular season, you need that same Dak Prescott in the playoffs. And for some reason, same thing with Lamar, they are not the same caliber QB in the regular season than they are in the playoffs.
That's fair.
So I'm fine with him getting the money because like Marc said, you had no choice. It was either let Dak walk and eat dead cat, like the Eagles did with Carson Wentz, or trade Dak, but the only Dak controls where he gets traded to. So you may not get an equal package for him. So the only option you really had was to pay Dak. Now, you could have saved yourself some money, my fault. But I'm old, man. I got alarms all over the place. You could have saved yourself some money by paying him earlier, but that's another conversation. But I mean, he deserves it. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league who don't have that success. If your name's not Brady or Mahomes, you really haven't been winning anything. There's here and there's like Matthew Stafford, but it took Stafford 12, 13 years to win one. He was considered, I guess, what Dak Prescott is considered right now before he got into a better situation.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
So it's you just need a capable front office, and the Cowboys aren't a capable front office. But you got the money, then let's see where it goes from here. Because I can tell you, or I can almost guarantee you, we all know where it's going to go from here, which is a first-round exit. But let's see where it goes from here.
All right, I'll hold you to that. Let's keep it moving, guys. All right, Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua. He re-aggravated his knee injury that he's been recovering from during the offseason in week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Now he's landed on IR. He will miss the next 4 games. It's more of a precautionary move because of the re-injury. They don't want to, rush him back. They're going to put him on IR and let him heal up. But this is a swift kick in the fantasy lineups because you paid a first round pick to get Puka Nacua.
Maybe. Yeah. You probably would pay a first round pick. I know.
Yo, when I was watching the game, I didn't even see him get hurt. It just said he was out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he I think on one of the plays he banged his knee, either banged his knee against somebody or he hit the turf hard. And then it was
Yeah.
like he's questionable to return and then questionable turn into ruled out.
Yeah, and that's my guy too. I love Puka, man. So you out for 4 weeks, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? You skip Arizona, 49ers, Chicago, Green Bay. You get a bye week 6, which is great. That's another time to heal. And you come back against the bum Raiders. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with that.
Get back game.
I'm with that. Yeah,
But
there you go.
We got you some options later on in the show, so we got you guys covered. But let's keep moving. Jake, we got some more injury news. Jake Ferguson, Cowboys tight end, suffered a PCL sprain. He's expected to miss time, but he's now considered week to week based on more recent reports. So that's a good thing. We don't know whether he's going to be ruled out for week 2 yet, but it sounds like he still has a chance to play. They probably would. I think if I'm worried about Jake Ferguson coming back strong, I'd probably make him wait a week and let him see what he looks like, after recovering for a little bit. Jordan Addison suffered an ankle injury. He's hopeful to play for week 2. He went down during the Giants game, but according to Kevin O'Connell, head coach for the Vikings, he experienced some significant soreness. So they're just taking him, letting him recover and see what he's going to be like for week 2. The Browns, David Njoku suffered an ankle injury during the Cowboys game in week 1, where my squad laid a smackdown on him. He's considered week to week as well. And then we had some breaking news ahead of Monday Night Football's game. Christian McCaffrey was ruled out. Achilles calf injury.
Start the man. I gave him faith, man. I put him in the lineup, man.
Yeah, my man was hot. He was telling me the score of his game. He was up 92-90, and Christian McCaffrey had him next. I had Kittle. And I said, oh, yeah, you can win. And then 20 minutes later.
Ace, I needed 20 more points, man. 20 more points. Now I got to rely on Jake Moody, the kicker. Oh, my God, dude.
Yo, it's possible. Brandon Aubrey gave me like 21 yesterday.
Man, I'm praying to God. I'm watching the game right now as the podcast goes.
Dude. Like, man, Christian, but to not make that announcement beforehand, you
Right.
Christian McCaffrey wasn't going to start.
That's my thing with the NFL. Like, y'all know people put in money for fantasy football. People do their research. People setting their lineups. Y'all can't let us know Saturday night that he's not going to play on Monday.
Facts.
And
you know what I'm saying?
The worst part is that you're not putting Christian McCaffrey in your flex spot. You're putting him in your starting lineup. You're locking in that spot.
Exactly.
And by Monday night, all the other teams have played.
Yep.
So you don't have any other options outside of hopefully nobody else paying attention to the news and grabbing Jordan Mason and hoping that he's the handcuff. I think he's the handcuff. But they do have 2 other guys that they could run some kind of committee. You don't want to see that. And then you got Deebo Samuel's there too. He could just get the Russia. It's just
that's true.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of a quarterbacks getting paid, because Brock Purdy is up next, and so far without Christian McCaffrey, he did not look too good. Almost the end of the first quarter, he got like 20 yards passing. He doesn't even have a point in fantasy yet, and it's almost the end of the first quarter.
My God!
All I know is I picked the Jets in my pick 'em, so I'm good there.
Go see what your Jets, man. I still got faith in San Fran.
I don't even want to talk about Pick'ems.
Oh, we're gonna have some updates, man, later on.
Yeah.
The Arizona freaking Cardinals.
Yeah.
Are y'all kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
Jacksonville, it got me tight, man.
Like, are you kidding me?
Tight. But we'll talk about Pick'ems. We'll definitely talk about Pick'ems in another episode because we got to bring that up. But that's it for the news. So let's get into our main subject. We're going to get you guys right with some waiver wire targets. Waiver wire. Why am I saying that? Bad. Waiver wire targets for week 2. We got you guys covered. All right, so we know that you guys need some options heading into week 2, just in case you got a spot or 2 that you need filled, on your fantasy team. So we got you covered with a couple of names that I think you should be looking at, that we think that you should probably be targeting, just in case you got a spot to fill in your roster. So we know about the Puka Nacua news. We know that he's going to be out for the next 4 games at minimum. Marc pointed out they do have a bye week, so that's an extra week for Puka Nacua to get ready to come back. But in the meantime, Matthew Stafford is going to need somebody else to throw to. So right now, I think Tyler Johnson, wide receiver from the Rams, he could be an option for fantasy managers to target if you need an extra wide receiver to target for your fantasy lineups. He played 51% of his 51 snaps against the Detroit Lions in Week 1, 65.4% snap share. He saw a significant amount of work after Puka Nacua went down in the game. 79 yards on 5 of 7 targets and receptions, 15.8 yards per reception. I think that's a good stat line for somebody who's coming in. And he's a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He was one of their draft picks that kind of didn't pan out, but he seems like he's found a spot with the Rams and with that added work. Now, we always have to temper expectations because Cooper Kupp is freaking ridiculous. He had 21 targets.
Yeah.
21 targets?
He was eating last night.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I wouldn't even want to go up against Cooper Kupp because in PPR, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But they got to throw the ball to somebody else, right? So Tyler Johnson could be an option for fantasy managers to target. You also have Demarcus Robinson. He played a little bit higher as far as snaps, 72 snaps, 92% snap share. But in terms of production, that's where Tyler Johnson kind of got the upper hand. Demarcus Robinson only had 43 yards, 4 of 7 from the work that he got. So how do you guys think? Is there a way that you think Tyler Johnson is the guy to get, or should you just try and get one or the other? How do you feel?
Yeah, honestly, you'll be safe with one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Definitely get Tyler for sure. You know, that would be my first choice to go. And then if not, then DeMarcus. You know, but you'll be safe with either one of them for the remainder of these 4 weeks until Puka gets back.
Yeah, I agree. I think if everyone watched the game, or when I say everyone, I mean everyone obviously listens to it, but everyone who watched the game, it did seem like Tyler had more of a fit in the offense when Nacua went down. But they're not just going to get that spot to one person. So, Matthew Stafford's going to find, outside of Kupp getting 21 targets. He was looking around. So between the two of them, they both got 7 targets. Tyler Johnson had one more catch than Robinson had. So they'll both get the equal opportunity. But if my first choice, same thing as Marc, I'm going to Tyler Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I have to use a waiver wire pick to get him, I probably would. That's why it's important to structure your fantasy teams and make sure you have adequate depth just in case a situation like this pops up. Because even if you don't have Puka Nacua, if you draft well, you could avoid that. And the benefit of maybe not using a waiver wire pick this early is that you move up on the waiver wire. So when everybody else is panicking or trying to grab players, you can sit back and watch everybody else make moves, and then you go up the waiver wire, you get highest priority. And next thing you know, if you do really have a strict need, boom, you got the number 2, number 1.
Exactly.
And then you coasting. Now ESPN has Tyler Johnson. He's for the free. He has no roster percentage whatsoever heading into week 2. So basically he's out there for the free. If you need him, you can get him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my next guy that I think should be targeted by fantasy managers is Brandon Cooks, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver. And we didn't get to see Brandon Cooks perform well last year. And part of that was because he was injured. He started off injured in the beginning of the season. Week 1, they played in a tsunami in New York. The Giants game was not rained out, but it was pouring, so they really couldn't get the passing game going. But we got to see what Brandon Cooks can do.
What game you talking about?
The Giants in Week 1 last year.
It wasn't raining.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was. It was raining. What?
We'll go to the weather with Johnny's.
Hey,
That
hey,
game,
Mark,
against-
listen to me, Mark. I was gonna go to that game, and it was not raining.
Okay.
Brandon Cooks just. It was just early. It was a new offense. It was just new. But don't try to make no raining excuse. It wasn't raining.
Okay.
I believe
okay.
that. I believe that.
What you know what we like to do in the show. So when we say something on the show, if you're new and you're just coming on and you're checking out the Fantasy's Finest podcast, what we like to do is when we say things on this show and we're not too sure, and sometimes we may not have the time to look up certain things.
Oh, I got time. Hey Siri. Say no.
We like to fact check. So that's why it's important to follow us on social media, because we always check each other. Whether we say something crazy, we say something outlandish, even if it might be off base a little bit, we always fact check each other. So you can see those back and forth on our social media accounts. But I'm going to stick to my guns.
I'm not hating.
I mean, it's not hate. I don't hate you. I don't mind. You do use your powers for evil. You be trying to get me. But I don't mind.
I gotta bring some balance in this world, brother.
I am A-okay with it. But to get back to the point, Brandon Cooks is a guy or a player that I could see having an even more enhanced role, especially with the news of Jake Ferguson being out, or not out, but he could possibly miss time behind the PCL sprain. I'm sure they don't want to rush Jake Ferguson back without him being 100%. So that's a perfect opportunity for the wide receivers for the Cowboys to get some more work in. And Cooks was already the number 2 option for the Cowboys offense, and he finished with 7 targets against the Cleveland Browns in week 1. So this could be a way where you got a nice flex option from Brandon Cooks. What you about to say, Mark?
Now, here we go. All right, so NFLweather.com shows Cowboys and Giants. All right, September 10th, 8:20. The forecast: 3 mile per hour wind headed northeast, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Rain. It was raining. It was raining. NFLweather.com week 1 last year because it was raining.
Time out. No, wait. Let me defend myself.
Go ahead. Because right now he's looking like this.
First of all, I've been trying to get my camera to work. I don't know what's going on, but this is the thing. We are from Philadelphia. We know what pouring rain looks like. The stadium for the Giants is in New Jersey. He said it was pouring. It was absolutely pouring. It was not raining. We don't call that rain. It's a little drizzle.
Right. Now we don't know the degree of the rain. We don't know if it was like it could be drizzling.
Was it raining or wasn't it?
No, it's 50-50. It was a drizzle. It was a drizzle.
It was a hot rain. It was a hot rain according to the weather.
No drizzle.
It was a hot rain according to the weather. That's what he's saying. A hot rain. There you go.
It was raining nonetheless, which was significant enough to hamper both passing options, because if you look at both of their numbers from that game, they were not great. The Giants, Daniel Jones was not great, but we already know he's not a good passer. But Dak Prescott is, and his numbers suffered because of the rain.
No. Yeah, okay. You're wrong on this one, because this is the thing. That game started out with the Giants moving completely down the field. Daniel Jones rush, Saquon rush, ended up in a block field goal.
Wait. What did you say?
The game started with the Giants moving down the field.
No, what did you say about Saquon? You said Saquon rush. You said Daniel Jones rush. That don't sound like passing.
No. This is what I'm about to say. I was saying from the beginning, the game completely shifted once we blocked the field goal and returned that for TD, because then after that they were playing catch up. Trayvon or Darren Bland gets a pick 6. Dak didn't have a good passing game because he didn't need to. It's same thing with yesterday. But the same thing with yesterday, where their defense and special teams is clicking, and the quarterback is not asked to do much because everything else is falling into place. So you're just protecting the ball, keeping the lead. That's what Dak did last year against week 1. Now, Daniel Jones, I don't even know why I talk about him. If you got Daniel Jones on your fantasy team, you shouldn't even be playing fantasy.
You ain't lying.
Trying to weasel out of that one, man. He trying so hard. I gotta admit that was a good attempt, but Dak was 13 of 24 for 143 yards against the Giants.
But that's my point. He threw 24 times in 48 minutes, or I'm sorry, 60 minutes. He protecting the lead. Not really. It's not like he had a bad game. But it's the same thing last night. We threw like 32 times. I think last night.
Oh, dude, don't get.
You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
fam. Okay, fam.
I'm sorry, y'all got beef with Will, man.
Alrighty, sir.
Oh, I feel
Alrighty,
you,
sir.
Ace. I feel you. Oh man.
But look. Back to the topic, man. Brandon Cooks. If you need a flex option, I feel like he should be available on your waiver wire to get. And he's going to be the number 2 option for the Cowboys. So you, especially if you're like, I wouldn't say he's a Puka Nacua replacement. You're going to have to do some kind of finagling to lose a guy like Puka Nacua and replace that production, that work that he was going to get in a pass-heavy offense that the Rams have. But you're going to need options to try and supplant that. Hopefully, you have some other guys that you can use. But Brandon Cooks is an option that where he's going to see significant work in that offense because the Cowboys do have one of the better passing offenses in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And he's available on rosters according to ESPN at 29.7% roster. So he is available. So there's an option right there where, you know what, I may not have to spend a high waiver wire priority pick. Matter of fact, I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm pretty sure, Mark, you may have seen it by now. I'll wait till waivers go through.
Mm-hmm.
That way, because everybody's not thinking the same way.
Right.
Tyler Johnson could be one of the top 5 waiver wire. Oh, I keep saying that wrong. I'm tongue-tied today. Waiver wire targets for week 2, right? Everybody's trying to get Tyler Johnson. Everybody's trying to get DeMarcus Robinson because they know that there's a hole where Puka Nacua used to be at. He's going to be gone for 4 weeks. So everybody's looking at them, and I'm looking over here. I'm like, yo, Brandon Cooks, if they get him, cool. If they don't, I can scoop him for the free because I don't have to use a waiver wire pick. That's just if you have the ability or flexibility in your fantasy teams to be able to do that. That's the kind of move that you would exercise that for. Like if you need Brandon Cooks, you better put that claim in.
Yeah,
use
right.
that fab, But
But
it's
you know
just
how it
another
goes. As
option.
soon as you pick up Brandon Cooks, then he'll play bad for your team. So that's
It's Sony's move, dude.
yeah, that's just how waiver wire works, man. He ball out, somebody get hurt, you pick him up, and he does nothing. But no, you're right. You're spot on with Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got to talk about the hottest option for week 2, the waiver wire, Isaiah Likely. First of all, let me ask you this before we get into the production and all that. Are you buying Isaiah Likely to continue this kind of not this kind of pace because he does have Mark Andrews who will likely get back on track. You still have Zay Flowers. But are we expecting Isaiah Likely to continue to be a cog in this Ravens passing game? Because we know they don't do a lot of passing. Lamar Jackson does not finish in the top 20 in terms of passing attempts. I don't think he's had a season where he's cracked over 500 pass attempts. He's efficient, but, without that kind of volume to lend to Isaiah Likely consistently having fantasy production, are we buying into Isaiah Likely season long, or is this just like one of those situations where it's a flash in the pan? He caught fire this 1 week and, he's going to piddle out.
Dog, Isaiah Likely is like the unicorn of the NFL right now, man. You know what I mean? It's one of those rare occasions. I don't know. Honestly, dude, because again, stop giving fantasy managers a little bit worry about, for those that own Mark Andrews. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Mark Andrews is going to see that same production that Likely had, man, week 1. You know what I mean? I don't think Likely is going to replicate that, those stats ever again. I don't think he would. Maybe a touchdown here or there. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to see, every other week, touchdown Isaiah Likely. Yeah, for sure. Definitely I would say, go ahead and stash Likely, on a rainy day. But you're not going to see stats like that to come out of Likely. I mean, unless Mark Andrews has a freak accident, you know what I'm saying? Then go ahead and book Likely like crazy. I can't see that happening. I can't. I don't know what y'all think, but I can't.
Ace, what do you think? You buying Isaiah Likely Hype.
Um, I kind of agree with Mark. I do know that with the Ravens, they really one of the few like run heavy teams in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and usually with run heavy offenses, sometimes you go with a two tight end set with so they're even if you play action out of it, with Mark Andrews most likely, you know, no pun intended. But most likely, Andrews will get those targets. But I agree, like it's way too early to be trying to grab Isaiah like this. I don't think he'll have a better game than that this season. Like Mark said, unless Mark Andrews get hurt, he won't have another better game.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Doubt
Mark Andrews did outsnap Isaiah Likely 73.8% to 66% in snap share, and 53 snaps for Isaiah Likely against the Kansas City Chiefs, 59 for Mark Andrews. So they were kind of on the field for almost the same amount of time. So, and Isaiah Likely had 9 of 12 for 111 yards and a touchdown. If I kind of feel like this. When you look at the wide receivers for the Ravens, I'm not buying into Rashad Bateman. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that there's going to be enough work to go around.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at Isaiah Likely and how he was used, him and Mark Andrews would be nasty if they got on the same page and the offensive coordinator starts to utilize those two in concert with Zay Flowers. I think that would be the 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 best scenario for all those players to eat in the Ravens passing game. Because
You know what? Yeah, I agree with that. And I don't want to mean to cut you off and all that too,
no,
man.
you
Because
good. Go ahead.
honestly, dude, if the Ravens is my biggest, moment would be like the Ravens had to be like in a tight end formation all the time. I would get Likely right then and there. I'm like, yeah, if the Ravens love to do that, get Likely. You know what I'm saying? That's my like aha moment. You know what I mean? That for sure. Again, I just don't see Likely because you can flip them stats 9, 12, 111 for to Mark Andrews if that was the case, and it'd be like we would not bat an eye on Likely. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm not sold on Likely yet. Give me, a few weeks here and there, and again, I feel like every other week Likely is going to be, it probably will be productive for sure. Maybe not 111 yards touchdown, maybe 40 something yards touchdown, probably. But that's I would say every other week. So you're gonna get a cold front. Next 2 weeks will likely. These will probably get hot again. Week 3, week 4.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I
looking
mean?
for consistency.
Right, exactly. Mark
Then
Andrews, you should be able to be. Again, that's what I'm saying. Going back, what we were talking about earlier, I wouldn't fret. I wouldn't be scared for those that have Mark Andrews. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see the consistency from him. I
all right,
can't. I don't know about Likely, not yet.
then I'll ask you in a different way. You need a tight end. Your tight end. I'm not saying you have Mark Andrews. Maybe you punted on the tight end position during your draft. You
Mm-hmm.
got uh, Zach Ertz. You got
Yeah,
Zach Ertz starting, and the Washington Commanders. Their
yeah.
offense just isn't clicking right now. So you do need a tight end option. Are you putting in a waiver claim to get Isaiah Likely?
I probably would. Because I feel like
I
you
don't think
look
that's
at.
wrong either.
Yeah, that's not wrong. You look at the chances between, like I said, somebody like Zach Ertz. You likely will definitely see more than those tight ends, man. I mean that we've mentioned. Yeah, I would go ahead and put out a claim for Likely, 100%. You got nothing to
Ace,
lose.
yeah. Ace, what do you think? You taking a shot at Likely if you need to?
Heck, I might need to because Jake Ferguson just went down and actually lost me a game, so I might need to do that about that one. So, but I still don't expect him to like have that type of game again. So, like, I feel like one of the biggest things about fantasy football is to keep your expectations, especially with waivers, low, so that way you're not, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I guess that way you're not expecting too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel you.
So, but yeah.
All right. We got two more guys on the list. And this one we might not have to talk about him too much. Hayden Hurst, tight end for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, the only reason I put him on the list is because I think there's an opportunity there. Now, we haven't seen it because the Chargers offense did not look great in week 1. They played against the Raiders. I don't know whether that's a more familiarity between two teams that know each other, so they know how to play against each other. A new offense being installed with Greg Roman, now being the offensive coordinator with Jim Harbaugh. They like buddies. But what I'm hoping to see this season is the kind of usage that we saw Greg Roman use Marc Andrews when he was still with the Baltimore Ravens. They do have two tight ends where they have Will Dissly, who they signed in free agency, and they brought in Hayden Hurst off of the free agency pile too. But Will Dissly profiles as a blocking tight end. He doesn't really go out there and catch passes. Whereas Hurst could be that athletic pass-catching tight end for Justin Herbert, because in Greg Roman's offense, they don't really throw the ball downfield too much. They will have to open up the offense because I don't think that they can continually go like they played against the Raiders. I don't think that could be the offense that they're trying to trot out. But in terms of usage and how how Marc Andrews was used in Greg Roman's offense in Baltimore, that's what I'm kind of hoping Hayden Hurst can get to.
Right.
He played 61% of the snaps in week 1. He did only have 3 targets, so it's like you're not really enthused to go get him. But I do feel like he's a stash that you don't have to use a waiver wire pick on. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Hayden Hurst something that you could get into? Not saying that you have to start him, but if you pick him up and he starts to turn up, now you done beat people to the punch.
Yeah.
I know it's a stretch. I know it's a stretch.
Yeah, I'm not.
Be honest, Mark.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I mean, nobody. You're right. Yeah, nobody.
You don't even gotta try to force an explanation. You was right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying. I'm trying to see the goal from it, man. But it's like, I
know everybody's not prone to stashing tight ends. I just want to put people on notice for something just in case, because this could be something that you don't see it now, but maybe a week or two down the line, you're like, hey man, because right now almost all of the offenses around the NFL did not look great. They didn't practice in preseason. They didn't use the offenses during preseason. A lot of starters didn't play, so everybody's looking kind of wonky right now. And as we get deeper into the season, hopefully offenses start trending up, more players start getting used. I just feel like this is a kind of situation where you can get out in front of. It's not going to cost you much, if anything at all, especially for Hayden Hurst. He's probably got a low roster percentage. So it's like I could put him on my bench if I got a spot that I'm not using, or I'm stashing a player who I don't think is going to really turn out. And it still might be early. Even if you don't even use a waiver wire pick, put him on your watch list. And then if you feel like you can make the move before waivers go through or after waivers go through and stash them, I mean, I'm just trying to put people on notice. That's all.
True. And honestly, the ways he playing against the Panthers next, right? I mean, you can. Yeah, I guess,
I mean, the Panthers is shit.
It's booty. Yeah, you ain't lying.
Chargers.
Did you see did you watch that game?
Dude.
No, I didn't watch that game. I'm gonna say you made it seem like the Chargers was so much better than the Panthers. They just as butt.
I mean, who got to win though?
That don't mean they got butt. The Raiders are just more butt than the Chargers.
Yeah.
And Hayden Hurst is on the free. ESPN has him at 3.3% roster, so you may not even have to spend a waiver wire pick to get him. But I'm just saying, I'm putting people on notice. If this turns around and that offense starts to get rolling and Justin Herbert starts slinging it a little bit more, even if he's not going downfield as much, Hayden Hurst we could be talking about Hayden Hurst later on in the season on the waiver wire. Brother. I'm just saying, I'm putting that's going to be my take. So you can come in
I gotta take
and try and screenshot, you know what I'm saying?
I got to take because as I was going through this list, I noticed that you didn't have a specific name on here as far as
who was I missing?
Sam Darnold.
Oh my god.
What, yo?
Yeah, Mark, I'm back on that top
There
20
you
Sam
go.
Darnold train.
There we go. I missed that,
So-
cuz. Let's go.
So
Let's
out of all
go.
the names that you posted here, Sam Darnold actually, outperformed these guys. So I'm curious as to why his name wasn't on there. But you know why, Mark? Because he's pushing the Justin Jefferson agenda, and he don't
Uh-huh.
want
You
to
really
be
gonna do
wrong.
that?
So
You really
I
gonna do
made sure
that?
I held it for this specific purpose when I joined on tonight. I said, let me go ahead and break his birthday. And let me go ahead and just go ahead. Sam Darnold is somebody you can definitely get on the waiver wires for sure.
Mm.
Especially
Hey, you're
with
right.
all the bad quarterback play. For those who drafted Deshaun Watson, for example, thinking that the Browns were going to turn it around this season, or the high hope that Deshaun has left you guys at the end of the rope for about 6 seasons now. Sam Darnold is an option. We talked earlier about those of you who may, for some reason, have Daniel Jones as your starting quarterback. Daniel Jones is an option.
There's
So,
no way in the world you should have Daniel Jones in your starting lineup. If you drafted, hold on, let me look at the camera real quick. If you drafted Daniel Jones, you suck at fantasy football. I'm
Yo,
sorry.
for real. You ain't
I'm sorry.
lying.
There's no way in the world that you are in a 12-team league with one quarterback starting, not a super flex. You have one quarterback starting, and you couldn't get one good quarterback, and you had to settle for Daniel Jones. You're already behind the 8 ball, man. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing that.
just well, and I say just for this purpose. Kyler Murray, I know a lot of people drafting on him. We've seen that debacle of what happened with them and the Buffalo. Sam Darnold had more points this week than Kyler Murray. Baker Mayfield, man, he played great.
Yo, how about that? It's a freak week, man.
Mark, Sam Darnold had more points than Baker Mayfield. You know,
Cuz. I mean, listen.
Caleb Williams, what a rookie sensation.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold outperformed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, here's the kicker. Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
Top passing offense in the past 4 or 5 years. Sam Darnold outperformed him.
How about that?
So, there's just saying. Don't
Hey, listen.
All right, hold on. Roster percentage per ESPN's 4.2. So Sam Darnold is available.
Yes, he is.
So are you telling me that you're buying into the Sam Darnold machine this season?
I am.
Okay. I just
That's
wanted to confirm it. Now we have it on video. Despite Ace not showing his face because he got camera issues.
No, 100%. I've been sitting here. I'm pretty sure y'all see me leave 2 or 3 times. I've been trying to troubleshoot my camera. I have no idea what's going on. But
that's cool. I understand.
When it comes to technology, I am 80 years old. So
I feel you.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. So you're on board with Sam Darnold. And for those who don't know, I'm not really pushing an agenda for Justin Jefferson. My official take was based on ADP because you're taking Justin Jefferson as a top 3-4 wide receiver coming off draft boards. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, I'm not confident in Sam Darnold being able to perform and keep Justin Jefferson at that threshold as a top end wide receiver for an entire season because we've never seen that out of Sam Darnold at any spot that he's been in. Now, he's had some good games. I'm not going to sit up here and say he's been complete, but the problem is he's been inconsistent. He'll start off good like he did in Carolina that season. 4 games, he was a top 6 quarterback in fantasy, and then all of a sudden fell off the wagon. He was garbage the rest of the year. His wide receivers suffer because of it. I mean, you can love it. I love it too because now.
No. See.
Go ahead.
I love that I know you so much, Mark, that I knew he was going to say that, Mark. But here is where I like catching wood, and this is why I have to play the villain sometimes, and I have to bring everybody together. You know what I'm saying? You see that Mike Tyson meme with the 2 doves? You say, now kiss. You're just bringing everybody together. Because can't the same be said about Baker Mayfield? Until he did what? Got to Tampa Bay with better weapons and is now performing. Performed last year, performing this year. So
Yeah,
you put
touche.
Sam Darnold in a situation where he has a receiver, not just any receiver, the best receiver in the
Mm-hmm.
league, where you can't cover him 1-on-1. You can't blitz, or I mean, you can blitz Sam Darnold for sure, but I'm saying you can't. You have to account for Justin Jefferson, which will open up other opportunities for other receivers, dump balls to the running back. Sam Darnold will perform, and Justin Jefferson will perform as well. Sometimes dudes just need a fourth or fifth chance. That's fine.
You know what, Ace? You sold me. You sold me back on the Sam Darnold
Come
train,
on, man.
baby. You
Come
sold
on,
me,
man.
dude. I'm with
Come on.
you. 100%. I'm with you, dog.
There we go.
I'm
we
with
go.
you. But that's that's got to be after he plays San Fran next week, though, man.
After no, you gotta jump on while the iron is hot.
That's after the San Fran game next week, week 2. Nah,
let's start this week 3.
Yeah, week 3. Yeah, week 3. Which
y'all suck. Y'all suck. Because his next four games are not cakewalks. He might be able to squeeze out one against the Packers, but they are division rivals, so that game is kind of a toss up. So you don't know how that's going to go. And yeah, Jordan Love's not playing because he got injured in the Philadelphia game. So that's something to consider too. But I believe he's got the 49ers next. And if they lose tonight, they're going to come back and beat the brakes off the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Really?
Man.
You make it seem like teams don't lose back-to-back games.
You think they're going to lose to Sam Darnold after losing on Monday Night Football?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I've seen the 49ers demolish us and then go on to lose to bad teams like the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm saying anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
I'm saying right now, if the 49ers lose, which I have them picked as losing tonight against the New York Jets, they will come back against a much easier opponent in the Minnesota Vikings and beat the brakes off of them.
But see, that's my thing. That's fine, Will.
Okay.
Because you only picking up Sam Darnold to be your backup quarterback. That's my point.
You said that he's going to finish as a top 20 fantasy quarterback.
Yes, I believe he will, right? But there's only
nobody's using two quarterbacks.
Marc, I hate hitting him with logic, but if I say Sam Darnold's going to be a top 20 quarterback, most people only have 12 men in their league, right?
Yeah.
You got 12 QB stars. That means 8, at least the next 8 are on the bench. Sam Darnold will be the next 8 on the bench. So you talked about the next 4 games.
You trying to play it safe. You ain't going to start him, but I mean, he can still finish as a top 20 quarterback.
Like you said, Sam Darnold, the next 4 or 5 games, why would you need him unless your quarterback is Jalen Hurts and he got a week 5 bye. But after that, you're talking about week 7, 8, not Detroit, Rams, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Chicago, Arizona, Atlanta. Like, he can have some hot games to where if you need Sam Darnold, then he'll produce for you. That's all I'm saying.
Love this dude.
All right. I'm so glad we got this on wax, man.
Yo.
I really am. There's ain't no running now.
Sam Darnold, if you ever need a lawyer or some representation, I am here.
Yo, listen, I gotta see that. Man, let me tell you something, man.
I'm still tight. You got James Cole to agree with you. I'm so tight about that.
That just shows you how much ball I know. That we get NFL analysts on the podcast, and the first thing he say, you know what, Ace, I like this guy. You know what I'm saying? He know what he talking about. He ain't say that about Will. You know what I'm saying? He said that about me.
I felt so horrible, man, because then when Sam Darnold tanked, I'm looking at him like, I can't believe Ace did that. I'm like, James Cole is never going to come back on the show.
Oh, my God, yo.
Listen, I got the sound bite I needed.
All right, let's wrap up the episode. We got one more guy on our waiver wire target list. Wide receiver Greg Dortch from the Arizona Cardinals. 3rd in snaps among the wide receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a stinker as well. He did play 37 snaps in the game, but he saw 8 targets, finished 2nd among the offensive players in targets. He was right behind Trey McBride, who finished with 9.
Mm-hmm.
He had a solid stat line for fantasy, but my only trepidation with adding him, and I'm going to just keep it out there, I don't think that his kind of target share is going to be consistent. Partly because you still have Marvin Harrison there. He didn't
Great,
get
yeah.
anything, and he
Mm-hmm.
was open on one of those plays at the end of the game. Kyler Murray just didn't see him.
Does
I
have to
don't
be
think that
5'10"?
he is
Are
short.
you really going to be able to see over anything? No.
Facts.
But I think that it was a hiccup. It was one of those things that, it's the beginning of the season. Like I said, a lot of offenses didn't look good in week one. Arizona, they did start the game good. They ran the ball well with James Conner. He did have some nice passes. Kyler Murray did get busy on the ground, rushing himself. It just as the game went on, they kind of lost their way. And then they didn't rely on their wide receivers as much. And Greg Dortch was clutch moving the ball on third down. I got to hand it to him. It was Laquan Jones. I want to say his name right because I talk to him all the time. I can't say his name wrong. But Laquan Jones, that's his guy. He's on NFL Fantasy. I got to talk to him a little bit. And that's his guy this season, Greg Dortch.
Right.
So I think he's an option as far as usage, especially on third downs. That's Kyler Murray's guy, his go-to guy when he's not throwing the ball to Trey McBride. So while I feel like it's not going to be consistent, they're going to start using Marvin Harrison and Mike Wilson more.
Exactly.
They'll start getting James Conner more involved in the passing game because he's capable of doing that as well. And you still have Trey McBride. I can see them kind of moving away from Greg Dortch at times to get those other guys involved. But right now, Dortch has got to be one of the hot items on the low to get for fantasy, especially on the waiver wire this week. And when you look at his roster, he's only 1.6 on ESPN, so he's there.
That's if you're totally desperate, dude. For real. You know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Wide receiver heavy.
He's looking for he's a flex option. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna pop up to the wide receiver 2 spot.
Right.
But that kind of he would have to have a crazy game where he's just getting yards after the catch and he's getting targets. But I think even with the kind of production that he's getting now, maybe that does continue. I just don't see it. But I would be remiss to not mention Greg Dortch as an option on the waiver wire, especially after the performance that he put up, even against the Bills.
Yeah. You're good.
You said I'm good words.
You're good.
I don't like how you said that.
You heard that? You heard that, Mark?
Yes.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention him. But meanwhile, he didn't mention Sam Darnold. See, this is
I ain't mentioned Sam Darnold for a reason. I'm not getting fantasy managers caught up. Listen, if I'm wrong, you know how it is on the show. You can call me out. But I'm not going to be wrong on this.
I'm going to tell you right now, man. We will eventually, and I can see this in the future, we will eventually have Sam Darnold on the show, dude.
Oh, my God.
And just praise.
Yeah.
Yo, it's going to happen, yo. I swear to God, it's going to happen, man.
Yep.
Just be prepared. It's going to happen. Watch.
Matter of fact, I'm going to get a Sam Darnold jersey, man. I'm going to get a Sam Darnold jersey. And the next show, when my camera works, I will have a Sam Darnold jersey. Maybe. Maybe. Let me see San Francisco game.
Oh, yes, exactly. I'll wait till San Francisco, man. If he lights it up, I'm hopping on the Sam Darnold train. Let's go. I'm with that.
He's going to get lit up, and I'm going to come back on this show, and I'm going to laugh at both of you goobers for pushing this Sam Darnold agenda.
I don't even think it's an agenda. I think it's a good waiver wire pick. You can't even deny it. It's a good waiver pick.
It is something to consider. It is definitely something to.
And you know what's even worse about it? Ace got Eagles fans. He sucked Eagles fans on me for this whole thing. Like, one of the boys hit me up and was like, hey, Justin Jefferson's performing. I'm like, cool. It's the Giants. Well, I'm not losing my mind over the Giants. I knew they were going to be bad. That's why I picked Minnesota in our pick'em.
Yeah. That's outright. That's outright, dude.
Darnold should be able to beat the Giants.
That's easy outright. Exactly.
Mark. We'll have to talk about this another time because this will go on for an hour of how like I said, he's real good with words. He's real good with words. But see, my wife told me I'm a great thinker. You know what I'm saying? I think out of the box. I move around those words and I find a problem. So I'm not even going to get into it because we're going to go for an hour.
Yeah, we're gonna end the show here before you start talking. Get out of here. But that is our show. Those are our waiver wire options for you guys heading into week 2. So if you need the options, you need somebody to target off the waiver wire, those are the guys you could be looking at. Hopefully you don't need them, not this week. But hey, man, at fantasy lineups can be tricky at times, and you might need to pull a guy off the waiver wire to help your guys out. But that'll do it for the show. Thank you guys, Mark, Ace. Thanks for coming on. It's been a blast to have you guys on. I'm not talking to y'all like y'all not co-hosts. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just glad to have y'all on.
Yeah, right? I'm like, God damn, I know it's been a minute since we all been together. Yeah, I know it's been a minute.
Yeah, I know everybody's busy, but I'm glad to have y'all on the show. It's more fun to do it with the squad in tow.
Facts.
As opposed to just by yourself.
Facts.
But that's it for the show. Make sure you check out all our stuff. Again, subscribe to the podcast. We're on YouTube doing video this season. You can follow the podcast on audio as well, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're on Apple, hit the subscribe button, leave us some reviews for the show. Let us know if you liked it or not, and we're not opposed to criticism, so leave us some notes on that as well. You can also check out thefantasyfinest.com. We got articles coming up in season to get you guys ready as well. We will be posting the podcast as well on our website, so you can check it out there. And of course, follow us on social media. Mark, drop your hand. You guys drop your handle so they can follow y'all. Ace has got to reset. He's done reset his account like 6 times. So he needs some more followers on there.
Reset, suspended, it's the same thing.
Yeah, man, because I'm like, dude, what is this? I'm trying to tag you, and I'm like, dude, this man changes he changes draws, man. It's his Twitter, dude. That's
My
crazy.
man be running from the feds on Twitter, man. He didn't change his handle, and then he changes, like he gets suspended, and he come back, and then he changes his whole handle. It'd be something totally different. I'll be like, I know I was following this guy. Where is he at?
See, it's the fact that Ace doesn't want to get canceled, so that's a smart move trying to get changed.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve, man.
But he's like, Elon Musk, you're not gonna get me.
Yo, for real.
I gotta get my follower count back up. But,
I hear you.
But let them know where to find you guys.
Go ahead, Ace. I'll let you.
Yeah, because he got to give you his account now because it might be different later.
Facts.
Yeah, mine's right now it's wholesome_ace. That is my Twitter handle. Don't have Instagram, or I do, but I don't use it at all. And so, yeah, got like 2 followers. I never really opened the app. This is my mom and my wife, so.
Oh man.
And then of course, you can Google me, MC Nux, McNux. 6 letters easily. Find me on everywhere. No matter what social media, everywhere, dude. Google me. Yeah, legit. I tell people that all the time, man. Google me. You'll feel first page. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And of course, you can follow me, my personal account at hype_finest on Twitter, and you can follow the show at Fantasy's Finest across all your social medias. Like we said, YouTube, TikTok, everything is growing. We're getting pushed. Engagement is growing, and we appreciate all the comments and likes and shares that you guys send our way, and we like the engagement as well. So that's it for the show. We will check you guys in our next episode. Until then, peace.
Thanks for listening to the Fantasy's Finest podcast. Be sure to join the community on Facebook and follow us on Twitter too at the Fantasy's Finest. See you next episode.